a funny thing happened on the way to crowning Anthony Edwards as the next Michael Jordan. What happened to him so far appears to be the MVP of the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Once again, great game, incredible game.
Say it.
I'll say it. Name me another guy who's got a hard G and a soft G in the same last name. That's why people screw it up. They don't know how to pronounce it. But he's the MVP. And, I mean, you just got to love it. You got to love it. And the folks in Oklahoma City are loving it. And, you know, you got to love a guy who, when he accepts his award, he's in tears thanking his wife.
Yeah.
Puts it all out there. I mean, this one, too, when asked about if he's proud of his younger self, what his younger self would think, right? Hit it.
Shai, you once mentioned my whole life is consistent. When you think about the younger teenage Shai, how proud of you are of that younger Shai that got you to that point of hoisting up the trophy tonight?
Yeah, I'm very proud. I'm glad he never gave up. I'm glad he listened to the right people, and I'm glad for those people giving me that advice that they did throughout the years. They know who they are, and I'm very appreciative.
Ladies and gentlemen, SGA.
Yeah.
Folks here in Los Angeles, not terribly happy with this development. Hey, Rich Paul mentioned it yesterday, right? Everybody blames LeBron. Oh, he's the guy behind the scenes pulling the strings. He's the one making rosters happen, and the rosters don't happen to his liking. He makes a move, and he's running teams, stuff like that. And he basically was saying, how come nobody blames Kawhi for that sort of thing? I'm totally paraphrasing, but he said that with SGA.
Trust me, I feel it, Rich.
Right? I mean,
I feel it.
Jerry West saw something in this kid. The Clippers drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
He was here in L.A., and all of a sudden Kawhi wins up in Toronto, and he's willing to come to Los Angeles. Not the Lakers. LeBron was here already. Not the Lakers, but the Clippers. And the Clippers essentially said, who else do you want? And he chose Paul George, who's sitting there in Oklahoma City, who the prior year was lighting cigars with Russell Westbrook saying, he pulled a full Wolf of Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not leaving. And then he leaves, and kudos to the Oklahoma City front office. They're like, we will take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
And every one of your draft picks for the next 30 years.
All of the picks.
Which, by the way, has them set up for Giannis right now, if they so choose. But why would you? All right. Why would you trade for Giannis?
Don't do it again. Stop.
Don't do it again.
Listen.
For the love of God. We're here to protect you.
Why would you mess with what is happening? This kid is totally becoming the man-child that everybody expected the Timberwolves star to be right now. Now, there's still more games to be played. I'm just saying right now, the way they're feeling in Oklahoma City has got to be great. Listen, even in the Durant heydays, right, with Coach Scotty Brooks, remember Billy Donovan had a cup of coffee there?
Yeah.
Right? They were never up 2-0 in a Western Conference Finals. Even the year and they made the finals, they weren't up 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals. As a matter of fact, they were down 0-2 to the Spurs and won 4 in a row and got there. Okay? So they are up 2-0 in a Western Conference Finals in Oklahoma City for the first time. You know the last time they were up 2-0 in a Western Conference Finals? I looked it up. When they were the Seattle Supersonics.
You know.
In 1995-96 season, in May of 96, last time they were up 2-0. They were up 2-0 on Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz.
There's Gary Payton just throwing lobs to Sean Kemp.
Okay.
Rain Man.
And the last time we saw a 30-point game, 5 games in a row in the playoffs by a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Seattle Supersonics, apparently never. You're looking at it. 38, 8, and 3 steals. And this is after he gets the trophy from Adam Silver. And after the game, he was saying he would try to keep him within himself being overhyped.
I feel like my emotions were like so high that I was like a little bit like tired out there, especially to start. I was like a little too juiced up, but yeah, special moment. I'm happy we won, so I can like really enjoy the last couple of days and soak it all up. That really helps. But yeah, shout out to the team. Played well again tonight, and heading to Minnesota up 2-0.
All right. The irony of a guy from Toronto being traded to Oklahoma City because a guy just won a championship there, saying, "I want to come to you here in Los Angeles, and I want to choose somebody of my liking." I guess if you have a problem in Minnesota with what I've had to say, you can do what a lot of people are doing in this country right now: blame Canada. Lot to like there. And there was the thing I was most impressed with and by last night is, if you recall, it was a 70-64 game. It was tight. Third quarter, could have gone anyway, right? Even though Julius Randle was having another brutal off night. The Timberwolves kept on chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. Suddenly it's like a 2-possession game. It's on the verge of being a 1-possession game, and then boom. Boom. 3-pointers keep falling. SGA keeps getting whistles, which pisses. I don't know what it's going on. Like, I guess if you're winning an MVP in this league, you're a lightning rod no matter what, right? I guess that's what it is. He's getting whistles. He doesn't deserve the whistles. He's flopping a little bit. Are these really fouls? Are they not? Mm-hmm. Everybody's wearing the same T-shirt. They're going crazy. It's tough to stop when 3-pointers are falling, and then the long defenders are creating problems on the 3-point arc for you. And Chet Holmgren is Gumby, damn it. He's throwing things down, and he starts yelling and screaming. They're calling timeout from Minnesota. Did you see SGA come back? The ESPN cameras caught him, basically.
Oh, you're telling me, tranquilo.
Calm down.
Tranquilo.
Calm down. I mean, if he's going to have the presence of mind in moments like that now to be that leader, they won 68 games. Alex Caruso is doing things for the Ball Brotherhood that I'm very proud of. We're going to have to own him soon. Hartenstein's doing his stuff that as Knicks fans loved.
Yep. They look unstoppable. They look inevitable.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, it really does.
I don't know, dude. The Indiana Pacers, they don't care how much you're falling down by.
That's true.
But the Timberwolves still have 5 games of runway to win 4 against the 68-win team who has 2 of those 5.
Seems like a tall task.
Don't you think? How about us talking Oklahoma City basketball?
Well,
in the Western Conference Finals for the first time. Honestly,
I don't know what the main street is in Oklahoma City there, but
probably Main Street.
But there might be a parade there in about 3 weeks.
I don't know.
Rich, getting back to the SGA Clipper thing, though, Chris, I've told you, I've been feeling this for a while, but yesterday I was lucky enough, I sat in with Jimmy Jackson on his pod and kind of brought it up, and he kind of made me feel a little bit better about it. And the fact that,
which is available right now.
Paul George was a top 15 NBA player at that point, right? There was no debate. There was no question that was the right move at the time to go out and get Paul George. And my whole thing as a Clipper fan is like, what if that never happened? And Jimmy kind of rests assured that maybe SGA wouldn't have gotten the reps. He wouldn't have got a chance to be ball dominant with the Clippers at that time as he did with the Thunder, and it helped with his development. So maybe this isn't the guy that would end up on the Clippers. I don't know.
Hey,
it made me feel a little bit better.
Playing the result a little bit.
The reason why I'm mentioning it here, TJ, is because of what Rich Paul said yesterday when he was here. Clutch Sports founder, CEO, and longtime, and I love the story he was saying, confidant and partner of LeBron James, because he wore a Warren Moon Houston Oilers jersey to the Akron airport one day and ran into LeBron.
Fits matter.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Okay. Yeah. But again, he's pointing out people complain about LeBron or criticize LeBron for putting rosters together when he really, as according to Rich says, doesn't have the power, even though when he speaks up, I think his voice carries maybe a little bit more than in other players, right?
LeBron?
But Kawhi did that.
Yeah.
He did that, and it wound up to be Oklahoma City's gain years later, throughout the years, and years later to this very point. That guy who got traded to Oklahoma City won the MVP award in front of his frenzied fans last night, and then had a 38-point game after that. and also had the mindset of everybody chill. There's still lots of ways to go. People are going crazy. You're loving it, but let's all gather ourselves here. The move was to get Kawhi. Period. End of story. Mm-hmm. I mean, what he had just done in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And remember in Toronto, again, the place where SGA was born, they were giving away meals to any time to Kawhi. Didn't they have stuff in the window saying, "Hey, Kawhi, this is a Kawhi-friendly store. You come in here, we're going to give you a free meal to get him to stay." Right? Remember all that stuff was happening. It 100% made complete and total sense when LeBron was now here for the Lakers, for the Clippers, with Doc Rivers sitting there in Malibu, and Kawhi coming into his spot, saying, "I'll come to you if you bring a Robin for me to my Batman," and I'm choosing Paul Pierce. Made all the sense. Paul George, pardon me. Made all the sense in the world for them to do it.
Yeah.
The only reason why I bring it up, because if you say it didn't, you're playing the result, and it's total, 20/20 hindsight. I'm only bringing that up because Kawhi made these moves. And now Playoff P is Podcast P sitting there in Philadelphia. And we'll see.
That's a very good point.
And I thought the Clippers had the team that could actually do some damage deep into the playoffs.
You thought. I definitely thought that was it.
Right. But another former Oklahoma City Thunder is run out of time, sands through the hourglass to be that man in a Game 7. That's Harden, obviously. But just interesting sliding doors to talk about here on the top of this program.
Big time.
As the Thunder are halfway to getting back to the NBA Finals. And you could make the case that last night in that arena, SGA winning the MVP, doing that with 38 points, everybody going nuts, being up 2-0 for the first time in a Western Conference Finals since they were in Seattle, is the biggest moment Oklahoma City has seen since they were taking on the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. I mean, taking on the Golden State Warriors back in the day when Durant was with the Warriors.
We're going to the finals against the Heat.
Right. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
844-204-RICH is the number to dial here on the Rich Eisen Show. So, obviously, they were taking on the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals last time. But the Heat being in against the Miami Heat, yeah. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.